Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today, I suppose this is technically a review, technically not at the same time, but basically, um, it's sort of what I think about Uncharted Lost Legacy and what I think can sort of come from the future. Is it actually just a little speck? Yeah, there's a fly on my ceiling. Okay, I'm just wondering because I can see this little dot about there. Just wondering if that's a hole because I know there's one in my ceiling somewhere. Anyway, so I I really liked Uncharted Lost Legacy, as you can probably tell in my video. I can understand that I'm pretty sure they played it safe. It was meant to be a story DLC, and that's partly why it was quite short. You only need to look at the comparison between the amount of episodes I did for Uncharted 4 and the amount I did for Uncharted Lost Legacy. I think I did 5 for Lost Legacy and 14, I think, for Uncharted 4, which means there's in some ways it is a bit weird because it was almost like there was never a perfect amount of time that I've ever had. I felt like Uncharted 4 was not too long. I loved that it was so. I liked the way it was so long because there was so much that sort of happened, and it meant that it was really good for replaying because there were so many missions, there were so many chapters. So there was a lot of stuff that happened in each one, and you had some which didn't have much combat, but every single one sort of I think did in some way have some form of combat. I think. Um, and then Child Lost Legacy. I like the bit that there was a few there was a video. There was a video. I can't remember. I think it was when we reached sort of the decoy. Can't remember the name of the city now, but yeah, that city. I haven't played it enough times now to actually remember what the name of the city is. If I play through it like 2 or 3 more times, I will remember everything. But yeah, but I really liked the sort of. I like the idea that focused more on, I think, religion, whilst the others are focused on historical figures. Sir Francis Drake was for 2 of them, Marco Polo was for another one. There was even that, and since Uncharted 2, there's always been a reference to Marco Polo, and I quite like that. There was that one. But yeah, and then there was Henry Avery. This one was more about the gods. I think it was Ganesh mostly, but it did include the other gods as well. Indian gods. And I like the moving around just the one area. What I do prefer is some people like the staying in one place and moving around that one place. I wouldn't have minded that. I think if it was more like maybe Uncharted 2, where you went from one place to another, but you sort of went from almost like the jungles up to then the snowy mountains and it was like that. So there was a bit of an environment change. This one didn't really have much of an environment change apart from city and then rural. So, I would have liked a bit more changing around, but I was quite like going from one country or island to another and things like that and having a bit of a change in environment through that because it always means that you're somewhere new. As I said, this game was quite short. I feel a bit like it's too short because I've been playing through it now. And knowing what I'm doing, it's really not taking me that long. I think I've been playing it for nearly 3 days and I'm about to finish it again. Obviously, if I devoted all my time to it, I'd finish it incredibly quickly, but I don't have all that time. Another thing but I liked the characters. I liked Chloe and Nadine, and I feel like they were very similar to each other in most ways. They're quite professional. And you do learn a bit about the 2 characters, and I quite like that because I didn't know much about Nadine and I didn't know much about Chloe. I liked them, but I didn't know much about them. So I liked it that they definitely gave them a lot more backstory, and yeah, I just quite like that. And then I think Sam was introduced to add a bit more comedy to it, and I did like that. I like that they brought in Sam, and I like the way that they didn't really reveal it at all, so he just appeared out of nowhere, and I really quite liked that. Because in Uncharted 4, even though he was meant to be like this surprise, I would have liked it if they maybe cut out that prison part. Because in some ways, I don't feel like anyway in Uncharted 4 the prison bit played much of an effect, but I liked it how it did come on. Another thing is that Asar wasn't in it enough. As I said once again, that was probably due to the game time, like how long it was there for, but I did, because I couldn't remember his name very well. Now I can remember it, but as I said, he's not in it enough for you to remember it really well. So yeah. I still quite liked it how they had the skins and things like that, and how they had all the ones from the previous game and things like that, and then there was still, and like the ending as well. I love that ending. That was my favorite part of the game. Um, the sort of chapter 8 and chapter 9. Yes, there are 9 chapters in this entire game. I think I tried to have like 25, not 25 exactly. I think it was somewhere around that time. But yeah, and then but those 2 chapters, I love that with the sort of car chase bit, which felt really quite cool, and then the going around on the train, which was so much like from Uncharted 2, and had mixtures from the Uncharted 4 and the Uncharted 2 that went really well together. Um, Now I think that the characters should stay together for the rest. I think if they're gonna do another game, do it with definitely. I think they should really do it. If they want to do another one with Chloe and Nadine, do it also with Sam. I know some people don't really like Sam, but I would go a little bit more into who Sam is. Because, once again, we've seen almost his backstory, but he spent 15 years in prison. We don't really know too much what happened to him, but I would like to know a little bit more about him in some ways. It's the thing that we technically know all there is about him in some ways, but I feel like there is room for things to be added in. Like, for instance, what was his job that he got in the flashback in Uncharted 4? How did he support him? Where was he in Uncharted 3's flashback? Because that's sort of important. As I said, I think they had the same shirts from the Uncharted 4 flashback and the Uncharted 3 flashback, but I would like to know where they were, and for instance, maybe why Marlowe didn't mention him. I think it's Marlowe. But Marlowe was the villain of Uncharted 3, if you don't know that. But she knew that Drake wasn't Nate's last name, but she didn't know about, she didn't mention Sam. So there could be a reason behind this, and I would quite like to know why. Because that's one of the plot holes. That, or maybe he's not even Nate's brother. That would be really hard to do, but that could be quite interesting. And it's probably not going to happen, though. But yeah, but I really think there's enough. Or, another idea that there is I would like to maybe even see something that Sam, like one of the jobs Sam and Sully do. And I was looking through some stuff, and someone said that we know that Sam and Sully are going to survive. Yeah, but you could say that about all of the characters in Uncharted. When we were playing through Uncharted, did we have the idea that Chloe was going to die in this? I really feel like, people say that, like, oh yeah, we know they're going to survive. It's that thing that as long as you don't, if you set it up in a way where you still feel like that could happen, that they could die or something like that, then they should do it. I still think, that a Sam and Sully story could be really interesting, and it doesn't matter that we know that they will survive because of a photo in Uncharted 4. We know they're going to survive because they're the main characters, some of the main characters in Uncharted. I don't think any of the good guy main characters have died in Uncharted, apart from a cameraman of Elena, who really wasn't a main character. So, all the main characters are surviving. Whilst it could be interesting to bring in a death to one of the main characters, I still feel like, they're not going to do that. So, as I said, a Sam and Sully sort of adventure thing could work really quite well, and it's very similar, I think, because I actually went through Sam's Wikipedia page, found that he's never called Sully, he's called him Victor or Sullivan. He doesn't call him by that nickname, and it was very similar, because I think he didn't do that with Nate either. He called him Nate when Rafe sort of revealed that Sam hadn't been in prison for 15 years, and that he had got him out and all that. That was the only time he called Nate. He always referred to him as Nathan, or little brother, or so on. But yeah, so I think that it could be an interesting story with Sully and Sam. That also probably, apart from Cutter, I think they're quite they're probably the oldest characters. I'm not sure how old Cutter is because he's mostly bald, so it's quite hard to tell. Once again, that's another one. I would like to see a game with Cutter. Chloe and Cutter, I think, are friends. So something else they could do is bring in, have maybe even, Chloe, Nadine, Sam, and Cutter. I think that could be really quite a good mix together once again, because it's like Cutter is mostly strength. Whilst he is smart, I feel like he's more focused on strength and almost using sort of like brute force. Um, and then you have Nadine and Chloe, who are sort of professionals. Chloe is quite professional in what she knows, and then Nadine is almost a backup. I think they would. Yeah, she's more professional, but she doesn't know as much about culture and so on. But she's usually quite good with sort of tactics and things like that. So yeah, and then you got Sam, who is more probably going to be like the comedy, I suppose. Because Uncharted is funny, but I think you do need a character who can bring a bit more funny to that and still sort of matching. Because Chloe's sarcastic, but I don't think the two like Chloe and Nadine, they work well together. But I think for humour in some ways, which I quite like comedy and things like that, Nadine is quite professional, and I think that having a character with a bit of a sense of humour as well will help with that a bit, and also it would help resolving a bit of Sam and Nadine's sort of conflict. They have a bit of conflict, even though they're sort of friends now. They don't want to accept it almost. So I think that I would like to see another one where they do become closer together, and yeah. And once again, I want to see Cutter in another game because I quite liked Cutter. He only had like half a game, so yeah, I think he should come through. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like as I said, I quite liked Uncharted 4, and I liked Chloe's skins, the ones that she had, like the rural and the city. But I didn't necessarily like the pirate or the western outfit. I don't think they really fitted in very well. Especially, I didn't mind the look of the pirate outfit too much, just that they give her a sort of hook hand, which I really don't think looked good. So I would say, if they're going to bring in skins, I would say maybe even remaster some of the old ones, like the one from Uncharted 2, which was basically the same outfit, just retextured constantly, and I think it was orange, red, and black. I think, but it was the same outfit. I think every single time, and also maybe her sort of like leather jacket thing from Uncharted 3. Those outfits added in, I would have quite liked to maybe replace the other ones. But yeah, because they look quite good, and they were all designed, I think, with the possible capability of carrying a gun. So, you know, they would have all worked and all of that, and then, yeah, so I would have quite liked to have seen something like that, and, but I quite like the skins, though, and I like all of the options, and as I showed on my other one, I fiddled around with the bonuses, and I got a few skins, but yeah, the city one and the rural one I quite liked, but I didn't really like the others. Anyway, but yeah, also, if they're going to do another one, please bring back the thing that Uncharted 3 had. I'm not sure about the previous games, but Uncharted 3 had a thing where you could select the cutscenes and watch them. Please bring that back, because I found out mid-mission that Nadine's outfits, some of the outfits don't work in certain conditions. Like, you can't have her in the rain or in water in certain ones that have a bit of her chest, I suppose, like the vest thing that she wore at the end of Uncharted 4. It's not skin, that part, the top bit of sort of her head, isn't textured, isn't water textured. The rest of her body is, that part isn't, as well as also the clothing isn't always designed for water texture. Anyway, so yeah, so I think that's everything, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.